everyone, welcome back to the SNC channel. Today we're going to be in the kitchen and talking about what's in season for the fall. So I'm going to be discussing what's in season and what's local for me in Ontario, and kind of what's available around the stores I'm shopping at right now. So definitely do your own research ahead of time and definitely plan to eat with the seasons. And I'll tell you why that's best. First of all, it's probably best financially speaking. The prices in stores for things that are in season and things that are local to you are typically at a lower price point than other things that have to be imported from different countries around the world. So if you're grabbing a local apple, a local Canadian apple, it might be $1.99, whereas a Honeycrisp that's coming in from the States is, or even sometimes apples come from Chile, might be about like $2.99 a pound. So that definitely makes a big difference on your wallet and how much your bill will come to at the end of your trip to the grocery store. Secondly, you're helping your local farmers and your local grocery stores who work collaboratively with each other to offer you these items that are from their farms. So it does make a big difference in the local economy and helps those small little vendors to keep afloat, especially during a pandemic where things are already a little strange for the farmers. The last reason is you're also just going to be getting a better quality of products and of items if you're choosing to eat with the seasons. So if you ever realize like you picked up a watermelon and it's November and you get home and you cut it and it's white to light pink inside, well, watermelons are not in season in November and you really shouldn't be eating them then. You're probably going to be disappointed with the flavor, the taste of it, and you're going to feel like you wasted that $8 because they're expensive when they're not in season because it takes a lot more to maintain them, to grow them, and to bring them into the country. So definitely stick to eating what's in season. You're helping your grocery stores, you're helping your local farmers, and you're benefiting yourself in the end. So now that I gave my little spiel about eating in season, I'm a very big supporter of that idea. We can finally get into discussing the fruits and vegetables I have with me today. So it's going to be very similar to the video that I posted back in, I think it was the end of May, beginning of June, and I discussed what was local and in season for Ontario for the months of June and July. I'll be doing the same thing for October, November here in Ontario. So I'm just going to be going through each item, giving general tips, maybe on how to store it or prepare it, or even what are the benefits and what are the reasons why you should have this in your pantry or fridge. So the first thing I want to be discussing today are apples. It is fall, and that means it's apple season. Now I have two types of apples in this basket with me today. I have a Golden Delicious and an Ontario Royal Gala. Now these are both sweet apples, so there are different types of apples and you need to know that before going into your store and picking up your varieties, because if you're, depending on what you plan on making or what the purpose of why you're picking up that apple will change what variety you need. So if you are baking, the general rule of thumb is to stick with a Granny Smith. Some people even spring for a Honeycrisp, and that's just because they are tart. They have less water that they release, and when mixed with sugar for baking purposes, it'll just kind of it will balance out rather than adding to those sweet and sugary flavors of what you're baking with. Now you also want to keep in mind that some apples are very distinct in flavor, or there'll be new releases, such as the Lucy Glow that came out last year. Haven't seen them on shelves yet. Probably will make an appearance again this year, but do your research before going into store about the different type of apple you want. If it is just for snacking, I definitely recommend sticking with the true and tried Gala or Golden Delicious because they are crisp, they keep a good shelf life, and they generally are a little smaller in size, so that way they're perfect for a snack rather than needing them for the purposes of in a dish. Moving right along, so I have with me here a Bosc pear, and other varieties for Ontario for the season include Bartlett and Abbott, both red and green. So now some impressive fun facts about pears. So for roughly 170 grams of Bosc pear, It is about 101 calories and contains 7 grams of fiber. So Bosc pears are a great source of antioxidants, potassium, and promote general gut health. The next item on my grocery list for the fall are plums. And now, typically the stone fruit season is coming to an end, and that's why plums are on my list, because they're one of the last ones that still have a good amount of flavor to them, and they're not too dry when you bite into them. They're very juicy, and they definitely have that taste that you want. Whereas if you're picking up a peach or a nectarine come October, it might be very dry and almost tasteless. A plum will still definitely retain its taste and flavor. This is a red plum, but plums also come in black and blue and sometimes even yellow, depending on what time of year and how late into the season you're getting them. Plums are an excellent source of antioxidants, like most of the other fruits and vegetables I will be discussing today. And it's because of that that they reduce heart disease, and it is because of that that they also have been linked to lower blood pressure and blood sugar levels. So a plum a day might also keep the doctor away. And then lastly, I will be discussing cranberries. So cranberries are, I definitely think, underrated. You know, they come out that one time a year or twice a year at Thanksgiving and Christmas in that sauce that's left in a small bowl that gets forgotten about on the buffet line. So cranberries are definitely forgotten about, and I think they're not taken full advantage of. They can be prepared in many ways. Yes, most of them are a form of sauce or topper, but if used properly, you can really get the full benefits of this superfood. So for example, it can be used in a lime cilantro salsa or chutney of sorts to be put on meats and other roasted veggies and salads. They could be dried and used on top of oatmeals and cereals or in baked goods. And another thing that you might even want to consider doing with your cranberries is using them as a form of decoration. A lot of people put them on their Christmas tree come December, but a lovely fall garden wouldn't hurt on top of a mantle or along a countertop. So though we are fortunate to have an abundance of produce, seasonal and locally grown all year round, when it comes to fall, we start to see the fruits of such produce dwindle out, and veggies really get the spotlight during those months, particularly through fall and winter. And that's just because when they're shifted over to greenhouse grown, the demand of labor it takes to maintain such a delicate item such as berries would be too much. So we only get to see maybe a couple locally grown strawberries in the clamshells every now and again. They're definitely not produced at the same rate as, let's say, a sack of potatoes would be in the winter months. And that's why in this video, compared to maize, we only saw a couple of varieties of fruit, and this whole side here is veggies. So let's get right into speaking about the benefits and ways to prep these veggies I have in front of me today. So the first thing I want to discuss are Brussels sprouts. Yes, Thanksgiving is approaching and everybody must have at least a cup of Brussels sprouts during the holidays. But more importantly, I want to discuss the benefits of eating Brussels sprouts and different ways you can prepare Brussels sprouts. So yes, everybody knows you can roast a Brussels sprout with olive oil, salt, and pepper in the most basic form. But what we've been doing in my family for a while, my mother found out that adding bacon really helps the taste of Brussels sprouts. So definitely trying to mix different things, even a form of casserole with cheeses, might make these veggies a little more appealing to everyone rather than those of us who are really willing to eat our superfoods. Another thing you can do is always shred Brussels sprouts and put them into your salads in a raw form as a way to really get the most out of the little green monster here. But Brussels sprouts are a high source of vitamin K and vitamin C. Those two vitamins combined are great for blood health and bone health. So eating these tackles two major things to keep our bodies running smoothly. Brussels sprouts are also very high in fiber, which is great for gut health and digestive health. Moving on to beets. Now, I was able to, at my work, to pick up some monstrous size beets. I know some people are on and off about beets. We've always enjoyed them, especially when doing a charcuterie night, especially in like the pickled form. But roasting beets or even boiling them can unlock many health benefits. Are great on top of salads, eating them plain once they've been roasted or boiled, or even in a roast amongst other hardier vegetables such as squashes and rutabagas and potatoes. And in a mix with that, not only does it add a lot of color, but it adds a lot of taste and texture to a meal. So a lot of people don't know this, but beets are actually very low in calories. For about 100 grams of beets, it's only 44 calories and 1.7 gram of protein. It is because of this reason that a lot of people eat this before exercising to maintain high energy levels. In an article on Healthline, several studies suggested that it helped with athletic performance when consuming beets 2 to 3 hours before an exercise. So just some food for thought. Definitely look into that research. I don't know if you want to be chowing down on a beet right before a 5K run or extensive weight routine, but if it helps, maybe you want to. And then lastly, beets help with inflammation and they even support brain health. So I think they definitely get overlooked, and there are a lot of ways that you can look into on preparing beets. They're very good on price points and they don't cost a lot. And because they are a hardy vegetable, they can be stored for a long shelf life. So they're simple, inexpensive, and provide too many benefits. Why wouldn't you just want to try it, pick it up, and see what else that they can do in your life and what ways they can improve your meals? So then here with me, my guys, you guys might recognize these, but these are pie pumpkins. And we are doing our annual pie party on Sunday. And so my mother requested these because she thinks she's gonna have the home court advantage by making a fresh puree for her pies. I personally think I'm gonna win with my blueberry pie, but we'll see. Pumpkins, yes, are great for decorations, but when making a homemade puree, are great as a way of baby food, if that's a necessity for you at home. And again, in sweets, whether it be a pie or a tart, or even in a pumpkin loaf, definitely to bring to a small, intimate family gathering this Thanksgiving. The next things I want to talk about are squashes. In Ontario, squashes are available throughout the fall and winter season. Of course, they are available in the spring and summer months. They're just most associated with the colder months. Many people prepare the spaghetti squash in the form as a replacement for actual noodles and use it in forms of casseroles. We prepare it as such with cream cheese and make it into such a casserole. And then we also use the butternut squash in soups, or sometimes just cubed with salt, pepper, and olive oil. So the last item I'll be discussing today is the sweet potato. I know many people get the sweet potato confused with a yam, but the two are actually from different families and cannot be more different from each other. Whereas a yam is grown from grass plants, sweet potatoes are grown from flower plants and actually originate from the flower, or look most like the flower morning glory. And a lot of people don't know about that, but it is kind of strange to think that under what might look so beautiful above the grass and earth is actually a potato underneath. And sweet potatoes come in a variety of colors, such as white, purple, yellow, and orange. And orange is the sweetest of them all. There are many ways to prepare sweet potatoes, and you can leave them cubed. You can bake them with their skin on, mash them, boil them. I prefer them cubed and then glazed with brown sugar just to make them even sweeter. But in the fall, this is a staple to have and will add a lot of color to any meal and a lot of taste. Now, the last thing I want to discuss before I conclude this video, I want to take a moment and address Longo's Fall 2020 Experience issue. In this magazine are different articles about what's in season, not even just produce, but different cheeses across Canada that are being made, artisanal meats and breads, and different things to create harvest meals that are appropriate for the season and that are easy and inexpensive for family dining or even individual solutions. So for example, on page 10, there is a 4-page spread on different veggies that are in season and recipes to make that highlight those veggies. And pages 35 to 40 discuss about each province's main sources of cheese, the vendors in which they get it from, and ways to pair the cheese with different fruits and veggies and meats. I recommend picking up an issue at your local Longo's. The store locator will be in the links below, or you can even browse the online version, and as well the link will be below. So thanks for watching today's video. Please hit that subscribe button and join the SNC family. We'd love to have you here. As well as comment down below any recipes that you've tried using these items and that you find work well and are a favorite in your home. As well as comment any suggestions for other further videos. We'd love to hear your input and want to try your ideas and bring them to life for you. Hit that like button if you enjoyed today's content. And other than that, hope to see you soon.